Hey folks, it's Ben. I'm here with another cool yet awful video. We need to put a tube into a tubeless tire. Now why we're doing that is because this tire here is off the front of my case tractor, the 155, and it's just got so much dry rot on it in the grooves and things like that, it will not hold air on its own anymore. So we purchased a tube for it. It's a 16 by 6.5 by 8, which matches what's written on the side of the tire here. So what we're going to do is put the tube in this tubeless tire. The procedure really quick is to get the bead of the tire off the rim, or broken from the side of the rim, so that the wheel is loose, the tire is loose on the wheel. At that point, because the tube has the valve stems more in the center, we'll actually need to drill a new hole for the valve stem to stick out. We did this on the other wheel, it worked out great, so we're going to do it to this one as well. Then we need to put the tire back on the rim, and that is also an adventure in awesome. So this will be our little adventure in doing that. Now I'm going to cheat. Technically how you get the bead off of the rim of the tire is to take a hammer and a screwdriver and pound it out, essentially. But I cheat because I have a tire changing tool from another video, which I could probably link to right now. And we're going to go over to that and take the bead off or disconnect the tire from the rim here, hopefully easily. Things we've done to the tire already, we pulled the valve stem out in terms of we took the center out, so there's no air in the tire. And two things we need the most. These tires are old and crusty, and so they don't bend very well. Most of the elasticity is gone. So you have to use lots of lubricant in everything that goes on. So for taking off the rim, I'm just using like simple green. When we go to put things back together, we're actually gonna up our game up and use grease. Just because it's, on these old tires, it's a pain in the butt. They just stick to each other, it's gross. So we're gonna try, notice there's two sides to this tire, right? There's this that's all rim. That's very hard to get that bead off of because it's very long, but this side's very short. There's only a little bit of bead before we get to the center of the tire where we can get that tire side kind of in and away. So we got some lubrication on it. I'm going to take my tire tool here and try to work this tire around. That was stupid easy. Last video I watched on YouTube, he tapped it and it went right in. So that normally doesn't happen, but fantastic for us. Normally I'd have to work this tool around the edge and slowly work it down. So we got that side broken anyway. Let's see if the other side's just as nice. And I did pre-soak these last night in soap, but it dries out. So we'll refreshen that. Come by. This side on the other tire was just gross. Yeah, this is more of a pain, but it's going too, so it's pretty good.
Significantly easier than the last one.
The last one seemed to be glued to the rim. This one doesn't seem so bad. That's promising for us. First time we did it was just a train wreck. But look at it. I think we're good here. Let's go back to the bench. With no tube in the tire, we're not really risking breaking anything, so we gotta pop this bead out first. Thing is to push one half of the tire, and now it's being stubborn, into this groove down here, and then you can grab the other side and pull it up and over. Very easy. In theory, if I had a straight screw, that would work better. Like so. And you take another screwdriver and you work it out. And this method on YouTube I saw is just amazing because it just works so great. And just keep working the screwdrivers around until you get it off the rim. Okay, so that side's loose. Now we need to work this one out, which the other tire, it would get set and just wouldn't, but this thing is fantastic loose. Now, for the other rim, because of the tube, like I said, we're gonna drill a hole about, was it 2 inches from the bead in? So that'll accommodate our new valve stem. It'll be a much more comfortable spot than this one here. But meanwhile, we'll just take some snips and we'll just cut and rip that right out. Tube we're using, we got a Canadian tire. It's a universal replacement tire tube. The other tube we used is High Run, from another Canadian store. This one's a little different than the High Run because the cap is bigger than the stem. The other tube, it was the same size, but anyway, long story short, I'm just gonna make sure it'll fit through the hole, which it will with ease. So we've got the right size, but it's still got some sharp edges. So we're gonna use a little round tool here. I'm going to use this little round tool here and smooth that out. It's meant for an air drill, but or an air-powered rotary tool, but I just have my drill, so we'll use it there. Now's the time where we get into the grease. So I'm going to take some grease here, just some crap grease that I have, and I'm just going to wipe it all the way around the rim and the bead. Soap will eventually dry and go away, grease won't. And this tire is going 100% easier than the other tire did. Maybe it's because we've done it once before, but we're going to repeat everything that we did. So we're going to just grease it so it's a little bit slippery, and that might help us when we're putting the tube in as well. So just get a layer of grease here so that everything's a little bit more lubricated. And next we'll be ready to put the tube in. Alignment's going to be key here, where we have our valve stem a little bit towards the outside of the tire, because on the tube here, notice it's a little bit on the left side, or if we put it in this way, the left side of the tire or the wheel. So we have our initial hole there and our other holes right above it. That's convenient. So what I'm going to do is stuff it inside. The tube, it stuffed it inside, it'll be able to wiggle around a little bit. We'll get the valve stem through, and then we'll hopefully put it back together. So now I just have to, I think that's how I did it, is I put it all in first. So I greased the inner rim, and that helps the tube get around the wheel, and then I got the valve stem sticking out of our hole now. So I should be able to, at this point, nestle the whole thing down like this, and blocks of wood were there to help the wheel and the tire be separate. With the tube tight against the rim, we should be able to pop this half back on using our screwdrivers and not going in too deep. It shouldn't hurt the tube. I'm going to use my fingers right now just to kind of reach around, and yeah, there's no tube right against where we're going to be sticking our sharp implements, so we're good. And part of it, I think, is our first tube, we put a little air in it like you do for bicycles, but that didn't work out for us because I think it made it too big and easy to catch on. This part's harder than it looks because my valve stem's all greasy. And with no resistance to it, my chuck's got a little bit of resistance to going. There we go. I don't hear any hissing. That's a good sign.
It's seating itself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good enough. It's holding air. So that's that. That's how you put a tube in, a tubeless tire. Some tires you can get away with using the existing hole, but like I said, I don't think on these we'd be very comfortable with the valve stem, so we made our own hole. And the cap is right here. We'll put these up to 15 pounds because they're just for going on a garden tractor. But if you have any questions on this or anything else, just let me know. Otherwise, I think I'll just leave an extra 15 seconds. No, I'm not gonna leave the 15. Yeah, for the cards. That's what we'll do. Anyway, subscribe, ask questions, leave comments. We'd appreciate it. Thank you so much.